Hey guys, it's Katie. So today I wanted to do a little first impression kind of review of this palette right here. This is the new Nudes palette by Huda Beauty. And I don't have any of her other palettes, like any of her other big ones, so this formula was all new to me. I wanted to see if it was worth it. I was really attracted to this palette because, I mean, like, look at this. It's beautiful. I have definitely dug into this and done a few different looks with it, so this one is the one that I did a video on today. So if you are interested in seeing how I did this look, then just stay tuned. I will timestamp it right here so that way you can just fast forward if you don't want to hear about the palette and my thoughts. Spoiler alert, I absolutely love this palette. I think it is fantastic. I love the formula. I love that it is very blendable. The colors are very pigmented, but they're not so pigmented that it like makes your eye turn out muddy or difficult to blend out or anything like that. Like, they're very easy to blend. I personally think this is one of the easiest palettes to work with that I've used in a pretty long time. I think that this is easier to work with, in my opinion, than the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. So that's just my opinion. I might be in the minority there, but I think that this formula is just like special. I really, really like it. So I am really excited that I did purchase it. I was kind of like on the fence about it. These colors are not like my everyday type of colors. I mean, they're definitely more like pink and purpley and mauve-y, and I am a pretty like basic neutral kind of girl. But this palette is pretty expensive. It's $65. Now that's not like Pat McGrath expensive, but it's more expensive than an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. So I wanted to talk a little bit, like real quickly, about the different formulas that are in here. There's 18 eyeshadows in 5 ready-to-layer textures. There's 10 mattes, 4 multi-reflective shadows, and I'll talk about those in a second, 2 pressed glitters, 1 pressed pearl, and then 1 concealer base. I talk a little bit about the concealer when I'm doing my makeup, so I'll leave that for then. But see these ones that kind of look like a granite countertop, like this one right here and the one right above it, and then this one over here. Those ones are the 4 multi-reflective shadows. Now, those are beautiful. I mean, I will swatch those 4 for you just so that you can see, because they don't, like, they look kind of strange in the pan, but once you swatch them, it's like, whoa. Like, I think that these 4 shadows are what make this palette special. So it's just something different. I think they're beautiful. So these are the 4 shadows right here. I have Crave, and then next to it is Fantasy, and then next to that is Daydream, and then next to that is Charmed. So you can see that these are just super, super metallic and reflective. And it says textured, like I think Huda Beauty, when I watched her video, she said that this formula has like a lot of different textures in it. And although those like spackled kind of shadows do look textured in the pan, once they apply to the eyes, they're very, very smooth. I don't get a lot of like texture on my eyes. Me personally, I don't love texture on my eyes because I don't have like the smoothest, tightest eyes in the world, and I don't want to emphasize any lines or any wrinkles in my eyes, and I feel like a textured shadow would do that. But I think that these go on the eyes pretty smooth, and I don't know, I'm just really into them. The mattes blend out really easily, and I think that they are buildable and they're pretty easy to work with. So all in all, I really like this. I think that it is worth the money. I did pick it up during the sale, so I got my 20% off. So if you're even thinking about it, I would order it, you get your 20% off, and then if you don't love it, you can always return it. Sephora is still pretty good about that. So if you want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep watching. As you can see, I have my little turby towel, I think that's what they're called, something like that, on my head. I got this during the Sephora sale. It's supposed to like increase, like make your hair dry faster, so I'm trying it out today. I did want to use the Huda Beauty Nude palette. I was playing with it last night and I posted a picture on Instagram of like 2 different eye looks. So pretty. So I wanted to show you guys today. Yes, my face looks a little strange because I have like my brows and concealer around them just to kind of help out just in case there's any fallout. But let's go ahead and get started. I did want to let you guys know that like usually I just prime my eyes with concealer and it's like perfect, no worries. But when I primed my eyes with this the other day, which is the concealer that I've been using, the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use like sculpting concealer. When I used this to prime my eyes, it was not good. Like this is not meant for priming. So I'm gonna go in with this. I've had this for a while. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the color Light 2 Vanilla. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of this. I'm just gonna kind of tap this onto my lid to prime a little bit. So I tried this concealer, or this like base, so they call it, the other day, and when I say the other day, I mean yesterday, and it was good as like when you're doing a cut crease or something like that to kind of help the more glittery shades adhere to your lid, but it's not pigmented enough to be used as like a all over lid primer or like to cancel out any veins or redness you may have on your lid. So that's why I didn't use that, but it was pretty good for cutting a crease. That being said, if you like more of a liquidy product, then this isn't really going to be your favorite, just simply because it's a little bit tacky, but it's not that easy to maneuver. Like I felt like I had to use a lot, and like I felt like I was pulling on my eye a little bit trying to get it on my eye. So just throwing that out there real quick about that concealed shade. But I'm sure you guys have already, if you're looking for this palette, like if you're interested in getting it, I'm sure you've already seen reviews and swatches and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not really going to do that here. But this is what the palette looks like. And this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, even though it's called like Nudes. I don't find this to be nude. Somebody asked me the other day, like, what, can you get any other looks out of it besides pink looks? And I would say yes, pink, purple, and then like a mauvey brown color look. So just keep that in mind. This is, like I said, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I still had a lot of fun playing with this yesterday. So I'm just taking the what's it called? Bare shade, and I'm just gonna set my eyelids after putting that concealer on. That soft matte concealer doesn't really need to be set before shadow, but I'm just doing it just in case, just for good measure. I'm going to start off with the Secret shade, and I'm just going to kind of blend that out like right above my crease, or I guess right into my crease, and then blend it up. So you can see that that's kind of like a mauvey pink transition shade, but it's not like over the top pink. So now I'm going to blend a little bit of the Play color, which is a peachy shade, kind of like right on top of that, just to brighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Tease and stick that right into the crease, but focusing it more on like the middle of my crease to the outer half, and then a little bit in the corner there. I do think that these shadows blend pretty easily. Like, I'm pretty impressed with them. I kind of like this formula better than ABH. I'm just throwing that out there. I think that these are a little bit easier to work with because they're not quite as pigmented and powdery. And that's not to say that they're not pigmented, but you guys know if you have any ABH palettes, they're kind of like whoa pigmented, and so it's really easy to go like over the top and heavy-handed and have your eye look muddy. Whereas these, I feel like because they're not quite as pigmented, they're a little bit more buildable, and then you can get a lot more definition in your look. So now that I have Tease in the crease, I'm just going to take a fluffier, clean brush and then just kind of blow that out a little bit, just kind of blend it out so that I don't have harsh edges. I'm gonna take the shade, like this is a fun palette to work with, and I feel like you can, all of these shadows will work cohesively very, very well, and so it's not hard to be like, oh, will that go with it? Like, it will. So, because I was playing around with like so many different looks last night, and every single one I was happy with. So I'm going to take the color Spanked, and I'm going to put that on the outer V and then a little bit up into the crease as well. And again, I'm just going to take that semi-clean brush and then just kind of buff that out in circular motions. Then I'm going to take the color Raw and just deepen that outer V just a little bit more. And what I've been doing lately is just kind of like placing the color, like stamping it where I want it, and then doing small circular motions to blend it out. Oh, I'm going to go in with that concealed shade, and I'm using that just to kind of give a tackier base to my look, so hopefully that those shades will adhere to that a little bit better. I mean, I watched the Huda Beauty like little tutorial that she did, and if I remember correctly, this is what she did before she put on the shimmers on her lid. So this is going to look kind of pigmented on my lid right now, but that's just because I have, you know, a little bit of color there. So any lighter shade on top of color is going to look, you know, bright white. But if you were just to put this on like my skin tone, then you would see nothing, like without any shadow underneath it. I don't think it's the best for concealing. It's more meant for putting shimmers on top of. So I'm just going to leave, I'm going to do one eye at a time because I don't want it too dry. So I'm going to leave this eye just like this, and then I'm going to put the shadow on top. What do I use? I don't know. They're all so pretty. Okay, I think I'm going to use Fantasy like in the center of my lid, and then towards the corner of my eye, I'm going to use Daydream. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of Fantasy with a 242, and then I'm just going to kind of stamp it on the lid. The thing about these shadows too is it's kind of hard to see because this is the new spackled formula. It's kind of hard to see what the shade is actually going to look like on your lid because the spackled formula, like it's a bunch of colors like in here. Like see how, you know, you see kind of like little dots in there. It almost looks like a granite countertop formula. Well, it's kind of hard to see what the shade is actually going to look like when you apply it to your lid. So that's like the one thing where you kind of have to think about what did that shade look like when I swatched it, or swatch it really quick before you apply it to your eye, which is what I did before this video. Because they don't go on your eyes the color that they are in the pan. So as you can see, like when you saw that picture of what Fantasy looked like, it didn't look like this in the pan. But it's so pretty. So I'm going to blend out the edges of that in just a second, but I just want to apply those. So now I'm going to go in with, Daydreamed, which is a little bit more, I'm going to go in with my finger on this one. This one is a little bit lighter, a little bit more of like a lavender color. So now I'm going to take this brush that I was using before. I'm not going to put any more product on it, but I'm just going to kind of like buff out those edges. I used to be a freak about not allowing any shimmer to get in my crease, but now I kind of don't care, just as long as it's like blended. That's pretty. I don't feel like, pinks are very new to me, but I don't feel like this makes me look like I have pink eye. And I feel like it actually makes the whites of my eyes look brighter and the color of my eyes look brighter. So I don't know, like I didn't get that with Modern Renaissance. I actually like sold my Modern Renaissance palette on Poshmark, but I always felt like the Modern Renaissance palette, and I know I'm in the minority here. People love that palette, but I always felt like that one made my eyes look irritated. And I wore this shadow for probably like 6 hours yesterday. My eyes didn't feel irritated, and I don't think they looked irritated either. So I'm going to do the same thing on the lid to the other eye, and I'll be right back. You'll see too, like when I turn, like it'll look like my eyes don't match, but really it's just because these shadows on the lid are so reflective that like if I turn again, like now this one looks lighter. You know what I mean? Like they're really pretty. So now I'm going to do my face and put concealer on and all that so that way I can do my lower lash line. Because I feel like these shadows don't really have a lot of fallout, at least not that I have noticed, I felt okay with just brushing away my under eye powder bake and just going in with what I'm going to do underneath. So I'm going to start off with the Secret color and just kind of brush this underneath and then kind of connect it to that outer V. I was afraid last night too when I was playing with this. I thought for sure that putting it on the lower lash line would make it look like I had pink eye, like when it's pink all around your eye, but I didn't think it did. You might. You might think it looks like I'm ill, but I don't really see that. So now I'm going to go in with maybe a little bit of tease. And again, connecting that to the outer V. And I'm leaving the inside, like the corner of my eye, open a little bit. I want to put a little bit of like highlight on or something like that in there. Then I'm just taking a clean brush and then just kind of buffing that out a little bit. I'm going to take the Bare shade, which is like the light bone color. And then just put that on the arch of my eyebrow. Put in the corner of the eye. Maybe a little bit more of Daydream. Just take a little bit on a brush and then just kind of pop it right in there. I'm actually going to take a little bit of Crave, which is like more of a goldy color, and put that right in the corner underneath. I could use a little bit of glitter, but it's like noon and I need to go out and run errands today and I don't want to look like too over the top. So I'm just going to take a black eyeliner, the Marc Jacobs Fine Liner, and tightline my eyes. It's this one right here. Lately, I haven't been wearing eyeliner on my lid, and I've just been tightlining, and I like the look of it, especially because I never wear lashes, and I feel like when you don't have anything taking up space on your lid, it makes your lashes look longer. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of mascara. Oh, what am I doing? Sometimes I feel like when I film, I just like forget how to do everything. I need to curl my eyelashes. Okay, so now eyeliner's on, mascara's on. I feel complete. Oh, I need a lipstick. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if this is a palette that you think that you might pick up. Do you think it's a hard pass? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!